Peace, black power, love and light to the family out there, all the viewership out there, tuning in to Babatv, which you know is fire every time. It's an honor and privilege to be once again before the lens of Babatv. I'm with an esteemed brother by the name of George Macon. I'm sure the family out there who have been keeping in tune with what's going on has been checking out this brother. A brother who I find is a very intelligent brother, who articulates himself well, and not only that, he deals with topics that I myself find very critically relevant. And not only that, he deals with a solution type orientation along with his perspectives and ideas. So it's a beautiful thing and an honor and privilege to meet you in person, brother. And I think we're going to do whatever topics matter that we talk about, some serious justice, which is definitely needed. You know, I want to ask you a little something about you. I don't know if the brothers interviewed you or nothing like that before.
Earlier.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but yeah, we build.
All right. Now, you know, in the system that we're in, United States of America, be that as it may, we are where we're at. But there are certain kind of political groups, movements, and even things that they do, such as they have the Democratic Convention, the Republican Convention, the State of the Nation, the State of the Union. We even have something called the State of the Black Nation. Yeah. We've heard some of our so-called, or some people that I do respect as esteemed leaders on these panels that deal with that. I think that we need to have something called the state of the conscious community. Absolutely. Because there is so much division over so many things. Here it is where people are, our people only, according to the statistics, 14% of the population. Black men. Which is bullshit. Which is bullshit. I believe that. We're way more than that. But let's just go by that BS for the sake of argument. Let's just say that black men are only 6% of the population. If that was the case, which we know it's not, which is a different topic for another day. If that was the case, we would make up, which are the conscious people within that demographic, an even smaller population. But here it is, we are the people with the message. We are the people that's supposed to be raising up the mentally dead from the dead, making the unconscious conscious, making the blind see, and fixing our problems with that which we have acquired in liberation ideology. But however, we are more divided in the conscious community, from my observation, than the goddamn Bloods and Crips are, than the Republicans and the Democrats are, and then our black people in general who don't claim any kind of consciousness, the Christian denominations, the Muslim denominations, 73 different sects of Islam, hundreds of different denominations of Christianity. But here it is, a small populace of something that can seem like some kind of hope for black people tend to be the most, not only divided, but radically and aggressively divided. What do you think about us trying to have a symposium that deals with that?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is, first of all, the majority of people that's coming out with disguises on, disguised as conscious, is not conscious. A lot of these brothers are just smart brothers that read books. They're not conscious. And we got to, this is the thing we got to understand. We got to understand that a lot of our people are coming from the streets. We're not really past a lot of the lives that we was living, and we begin to read books, but we're not practicing the disciplines and the behavior that comes with these so-called spiritual systems that we're bringing to the people. We're not practicing them. So a lot of times you will see our behavior play out on camera because we can't get away from that. So the last time I was up in New York, when, I don't want to say the brother's name, but they was building, I sat and asked how can we come together. As soon as the brothers got the microphone, they start really going at each other. And you had one brother that's you know, graduated all kinds of accolades from college, you know, from colleges. You got another brother that's been in the religion. And no matter how intelligent and no matter how educated we are, because we're culturally ignorant, because let me say this, brother. There's a difference between being ignorant and culturally ignorant. You got other groups that do ignorant stuff, but we're not just ignorant, we're culturally ignorant. And because we're culturally ignorant, we don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to treat each other. I'm standing in Harlem right now, 125th Street. You see many different ethnic groups walking down the street, many different ethnic groups that own these stores, right? From different cultures. Do they do ignorant stuff? Yeah, but are they culturally ignorant? Absolutely not. Because within their ignorance, they know that they're supposed to build things for their culture. That dictates how they talk to each other, how they treat each other, and how the economics run within the community. Your community. Because when they come here as immigrants, they come into your community to build, not in the white communities. They come here. And because we know that we've been destroyed generationally for so long and not able to pass down generational wealth. In a capitalist society, everything is economics. So now we don't have an economic system centered around our culture, then we won't know how to treat each other. So I have a thing where I say there's so-called supposed to be conscious people all over the country, right? So I'm coming into the conscious community where I'm saying we're not repatriating back to Africa no time soon.
Right.
So now we know that the Democratic and Republican Party is basically two wings connected to the same bird, right? We know that we have Sangha black Negroes that's highly paid to keep black people in a sunken place, right? We teach all this stuff, right, on the platforms. We know this. So now Fred Hampton was 21 when he got killed, right? To me, he was killed because he was getting too powerful. He was uniting the different gangs and was bringing the brothers together and was actually starting to do something politically, right? So now you got a brother Sankofa, right, that I watch from home, right? Say, damn, this brother going in, right? Now I'm sitting here and I'm doing an interview with the brother, right? If we say we're conscious, and they say it's millions of conscious people across America, right? It's our job now to start projecting things from today, 4 years from now into the future. Let's get 1.5 to 2 million registered people on our some type of party, not associated with the Democrat and Republican Party, but something where we can begin to get bills passed in order to stop certain gentrifications and certain police killings. If we say we're conscious, we're the next generation. We're the people that when you had the Fred Hamptons, they was watching us. We're the children now. It's our job to start moving politically within America for the things that we need to get done. How do you feel about that?
I agree with you 100% with another zero, so I'm gonna call it 1,000%. You see, a lot of times what we don't understand, and people have heard me say this and I'm going to say it again because it's pertinent to the point, is that the whole purpose and functionality of consciousness and the whole purpose and functionality of knowledge is for what? Of course for education, of course for advancing, but at the root of that, the nucleus of that is for self-preservation. This has to be structured and organized though. See, to have knowledge has to be rooted in a nationalism and an objective and a referendum. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a plebiscite in which we utilize this information where it is applicable to the changes that we say that we need and that we want to see. A lot of us are just deep. See, within this government, you don't just have a scientist. That is structured around a functionality that is rooted in a structure. There's not just a vacuum of information. We got information, we deep. No, there's an organizational structure that they utilize that, right? And based on how they utilize, and based on how they utilize this organized structure is how they accomplish the things, the goals and objectives that they have already blueprinted based on the knowledge that they've acquired. A lot of us are just deep, but the deepness is making us more divided, it seems like, than unified, and unified principally based on an organizational functional structure that would be geared towards the upliftment of the collective.
I got an answer to that.
1 second.
Yeah. Well, as the brother was saying, the deepness has us divided, right? This is the issue that I have. And this is the conversation I had with my brother Sanetta. Listen, you got brothers that got platforms now that got thousands and hundreds of thousands of people watching. We don't need all black people to unite together all at one time. We need to start building something as a group, as a small group, and start getting the following and getting people to follow us. When the Black Panthers first started, they didn't have all black people on board. They started as small groups and they began to grow. They begin to build. So now we got to start where we at and begin to build. You got to understand something. They didn't have social media and all these different outlets to get to the people. The world was this big back in the 60s, you know, and they was doing everything by word of mouth. I want to ask you, see, this is the thing. When the Black Panthers first started, they didn't have social media. They didn't have cell phones, right? They did a lot of things by word of mouth. The way they wasn't even known countrywide. They started out in Oakland, they took it to different groups, right? The problem that we have and why we have so much division, you trying to bring all the groups together at one time to move. No. you got to start with the group you have, and we got to start doing things where people can benefit from, and other people are beginning to come along. So now, if you got Black News 102, you got, come here, Blue Pill, you got Brother Blue Pill, right? And they got they following, right? And we all agree on the things, right? We got to begin to take the platforms that we have and begin to grow across the country, right? So now, if you start getting people on board with what you're doing, other groups will come in. It doesn't, see, the thing is, we're trying to unite them with religion. You can't unite them with religion. The religion part is out the door. I have to go out and do my due diligence to get a following, to get it moving. And then other groups will say, well, wait a minute, this is what I can bring to the table. So now, the problem we have, we got us all in here, right? We all still culturally ignorant. So now when you get a group of culturally ignorant brothers to try to come together and build something for people, that's not going to work. You got to build with the group you have, right? Form a system of how you're going to do it, and then other groups are coming from Dallas and Texas and say, we want to do something similar. It may be a little different, but something similar. But yet and still, we'll have 1.5 to 2 million people registered on what we're supposed to be doing. So now when these groups come in to get your vote or to get certain things they want to get, you get legislation done. The same way I tell black people this, right?
Practical stuff.
20 years ago, the homosexuality community didn't have no rights. How did the homosexuality gain their rights? They infiltrated the systems. They went into the judicial systems. They went into the corporate America. They went into the whole structure, infiltrated it from the inside out. And then they generated money. Then they went and got a flag, and they formed a symbol, and they all became a part of it, LGBTQ, whatever. So the black community can learn something from that. Because there was a period of time when they was just getting kicked all over the place. Now they got more rights than us within 20 years, right? Because we haven't figured out that we got the social media platforms. There's people all over the world watching us, right? So now we got to use that. We don't need everybody. You need a group in order for it to build. And then it begins to take a life of its own the same way these rappers do. That's the way you guys see it. So I'll give one of y'all and let y'all elaborate on it.
Wow, powerful point. What we're talking about today is the state of the conscious community. See, a lot of people take the word conscious has the boogeyman kind of connotation to it now, to the point where people don't even want to say I'm conscious. I'm conscious by definition. And I'm going to tell you like this, I'm a Pan-African. Consciousness has many different schools of thought, many levels of maturity, many different levels of people with experience. There's not just some monolithic type of community where people are on the same frequency, vibration, have the same desires, skill set, or nothing. So when I say I'm conscious, by definition, just from the gate, it only means somebody who is awakened or aware and a response to the world around them from an awakened perspective. What level you're on or how awoke you are, right, is another different topic. So I am conscious by that. But when they say community, I'm a little indifferent about the term community because within the word community is the word unity.
Absolutely.
And there's no common unity. No, it's like, excuse me, all right? There's more like a conscious, it's not even a conscious network. Because network entails unity. You're networking. Culturally ignorant. Yes, we're culturally ignorant. So what we do is we have a bunch of divided or divisive conscious people. We have conscious cliques, not a conscious community. We should the conscious cliques. See, the conscious cliques. I'm not down with the conscious cliques. Okay? Yeah, I'm allergic to this mic. What you do? No, I'm joking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got a conscious community. We don't have one of them, but that's what we need. And we got to understand what goes into building a community, maintaining a community, and advancing a community.